Talked to James before. I talked to James after the deadline. Nah, he's a pro.
John, what did you think of Chuck Fletcher's work at the deadline? Were you surprised that James wasn't moved? How were your feelings?
Do you not think he tried to move him? Are you guys kidding me? He tried like hell to move him. But sometimes other teams are interested. They got to do. There's so many different scenarios that went on, and I just don't get the criticism of James still being here. It's like Chuck held on to him. $7 million. We got to eat some of the money. Probably half of it. So many different, as I'm sure you guys know. So it just, Chuck tried, and but everybody wants to pile on.
Chuck said that yesterday that he envisions JVR as a mentor going down the stretch here. How valuable is that to have when you've got so many young players you're trying to get younger?
Yeah. He continued to do it right up to the deadline, the last game. He's it's the most I've heard him talk on a bench. I've coached him in international tournaments, and he's trying to be part of the solution of us trying to find our way, and he'll continue to do that. I called him immediately after the deadline. I was disappointed for him. So wasn't my general manager. I talked to Bronner this morning. Disappointed for him. So wasn't my general manager. But it didn't work out. But I don't think for a second there's going to be a problem with those guys. That doesn't even cross my mind.
What do you know about Brendan Lemieux? Were you aware of his game before the trade? Have you been able to learn anything about him so far?
Yeah, I've had some conversations, but I haven't seen him play a lot. I know he has some feistiness to him, which I like. Watching him today, I can see he can skate. I think he'll add to our forecheck. And just the short conversation I had with him, he gets on a flight right away, gets out here. Practiced hard today. I think he's feeling it just from all. I don't think he had a situation where he wasn't on the ice for a few days and gets on the plane, comes across, practices today, a high tempo practice. He's excited to be here, so I'm anxious to see him play. I've seen him play a little bit, haven't really followed him that much. Good friends with Tony. Anxious to see him play and just be himself.
He talked about the fact that obviously he didn't get a lot of playing time over the last couple months, and even before then wasn't getting a ton of minutes. Are you planning to give him a real long look here? Give him significant usage to see what you have?
Yeah. We're gonna try him in different spots. He may have to. I talked to him at practice. He may have to play some right wing too. Hasn't played it in a while. We're going to try him killing penalties. I got 12 forwards. He's going to play, and we'll try him in all different spots. And I think situations like this, when guys go to a new team, he'll give us the way he plays. He'll give us some energy, which I think is very important in the situation we're in. He's fighting. He's fighting for what he's going to be in the National Hockey League. Is it with us? Is it with another team? Who knows? So anxious to see him play, and we'll go from there.
When you have guys that are fighting, like Brendan, or even some of the players that are in the final years of their deals that are playing for their next contract, how can that kind of energize the rest of the group?
Yeah. I don't think it's. We got a good group here. Whether we've won enough games, no. But we have a good group here. We're going to try to run it the next month here or so. Really focus on playing those games, allowing the energy to be in those games. And I do not think we're going to have a problem as far as our effort. I just don't think hockey players are built that way. And as I said, there are some guys that it's still a lot of evaluating going on as far as when we get to the summer in some situations. And one of the biggest, I've said it all along, one of the biggest steps we have to take, and I think it's the first step, is addition by subtraction. And some guys are fighting not to get on that subtraction part of it. And it's a big 20 games for some people.
Both you and Chuck this week talked about the importance of the AHL, having the young guys be down there in that playoff run. I guess what I'm curious about, just more asking about logistics here, is the plan in your mind basically just to keep them all down there for the rest of the season, or will you guys sporadically call somebody?
Yeah, I want to. We're going to look at a kid here, a kid there. 4 call-ups, as we talked about when we talked about this subject. Haven't put a plan together who we're going to call up, but I think we've got to look at the schedule. I think he can do it, and even when they're not playing, they can be here. And but you know, I think it's important that we look at some guys too. How long it'll be, I don't know. But we haven't gotten that far. We want to see how we laid out after the deadline here. Now we have an idea. I hope both Brownie and Mac have a chance to. Brownie's chasing for a spot. LA's going to be there. Really good situation for them. So I think as we get going again and we see where Lehigh is at points in time, that's when I think we'll make some decisions on it.
John, you mentioned when people tend to pile on at times, and when
You
a
do.
team- you were saying that.
You do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you do. I'm just saying you do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the piling on, when a team's selling at the deadline, it's clearly not in a great position.
No.
How much is dealing with criticism during this time part of the process?
Part of, absolutely. As I said, that's not what I'm saying. But I want it to be, for me, I want it to be legitimate criticism. For you to come out and criticize Chuck for not moving JVR, and I guess that's what's out there. I don't get it because he tried like hell. And why wouldn't we? First of all, out of respect to JVR, that's the bottom line with Chuck. He's such a good man. He wants him and Bronner playing. But I get it. It's been I haven't been here the whole time. I think Chuck's been kind of run over and Chuck darts at for quite a bit here. For me, Chuck darts at me when I think I deserve it, or I shouldn't say when you guys think I deserve it. I just don't want you to manufacture criticism of Chuck at this point in time at the deadline because something sexy didn't happen. Nothing sexy was going to happen. I think we all understand that, don't we, going into this, is that we're expiring contracts, we're trying to gain assets. That's the key. And he tried. But you still need people that are willing to join in. So don't get me wrong. We need to grow some skin around here. Criticism is all part of it. And we deserve some criticism as far as where we're at as a team. I just don't like the unjustified. You have enough things to criticize me or Chuck about. I don't think criticizing Chuck about his day yesterday is warranted because him and the scouts were waiting, willing, and able, and it just didn't happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. We deserve a lot of crap out here. We do from you guys. We do, but not that one. Not for me.
One or two more. Chuck said yesterday also that we need to have more talent here, and that's on me. Do you feel like the team is far enough along here in the process that at some point you can start bringing some talent back in here to supplement what you have going?
Yeah, we don't have enough talent. There's no question about that. I think where the deadlines are trading deadline, free agent deadline. Deadlines are hard on teams sometimes. You can set your team back years because you think you have to do something at a deadline. I think draft summertime is a much more important part for us. And when you're talking when you're talking about, for me, it's not, I'll tell you this, I think it was the greatest non-move by our general manager not signing Johnny Gaudreau. Greatest non-move. We are nowhere near ready for a signing like that. And I say that because I think we're at the other end of it. I think some skill needs to be brought in, but it's going to be probably that, if I can put it, the second tier skill, to the second, third line guys that can add skill so we can keep growing our kids, get younger, add some skill, and keep on growing that way. I can't put a time on when you're looking at a Johnny Gaudreau. It depends on what we're doing on the next phase, I guess, of this year. So do you understand what I'm saying? It's not just getting young. We need to backfill a little bit in in where, and there are going to be some players out there, hopefully, that can help us in that area, but it's not going for the home run right now. We're not ready because we still need to develop our foundation. Does that answer it?
Yeah.